Project Hail Mary make this rock alien so lovable? On paper, Rocky sounds less adorable and more flat-out bizarre. As author Andy Weir describes him in his novel, Rocky is basically a cross between a boulder and a spider. 5 limbs, a symmetrical, pentagon-shaped body, no face. Oh, and he's about the size of a Labrador. If I encountered a dog-sized rock spider in a vacuum, you know I'd flee the scene screaming. Yet by the end of Project Hail Mary, both the film and the novel, all you want to do is give Rocky a big old hug. So how does Project Hail Mary make that massive jump from scary rock spider to extraterrestrial friend we would die for? Like with many great sci-fi movies that have come before it, it's all about making the unknowable knowable and making the alien familiar. And how do you make the alien familiar and create a great human-alien film? Let's break it down into 3 separate tactics: appearance, culture and behavior, and craft. Part 1, appearance. When I ask you to think of a friendly movie alien, what comes to mind? E.T., obviously, Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, Paul from Paul if you like your aliens to be stoners.
You guys partake?
The little guys from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, even if we only meet them briefly at the very end. Now, what do these creatures have in common? They all have physical characteristics that are familiar to humans. E.T., the Close Encounters extraterrestrials, and Paul each have warped humanoid proportions. They also walk on their hind legs like humans. Stitch is dog-like by comparison, with fur that just makes you want to give him a big cuddle. In all of these cases, physical familiarity, either with our own bodies or qualities of a trusted pet like a dog, act as a shortcut to our own familiarity with and sympathy for an alien. But that's not all. The biggest asset for these examples is their distinct, exaggerated faces. Human brains are hardwired to spot face-like patterns, a phenomenon known as facial pareidolia. It's why people see faces in burnt toast or lunar craters. Scientists hypothesize that this facial pattern seeking evolved from our need to quickly recognize friends or foes. That extends to movie aliens too. If we see that they have a facial structure similar to ours and that their facial expressions are friendly, we're more likely to view them as friends. Obviously, there are several exceptions to this idea that movie aliens have to have recognizable features in order for them to establish a meaningful connection with human characters. If that were a rule, all alien designs would be boring as hell. Some 21st century examples of friendly aliens with less familiar features include the Heptapods from Arrival, the Creepers from Mickey 17, and of course, Rocky and the Iridians from Project Hail Mary. Each design draws on elements of the natural world. The heptapods are reminiscent of cephalopods like squid and octopi, the creepers are a cross between pillbugs and bison, and Rocky recalls arthropods like spiders. Yet these inspirations are still bizarre enough to keep us at arm's length from the aliens. All 3 of these movies play up our initial reaction to these unfamiliar exteriors, introducing these aliens as potential threats before revealing their kinder intentions. How do we get to know these intentions? Through a greater understanding of the aliens and their cultures. Part 2, culture and behavior. Movie aliens' appearances are the first stepping stone to our understanding of them, but that understanding would go nowhere if we had no alien behavior or broader culture to latch onto. Sometimes that behavior draws on familiar patterns. Stitch's rampages in Lilo and Stitch feel like a pet gone rogue, tying into his disguise as a dog. Rocky, playing with a measuring tape in Project Hail Mary, reminded me of how my cat played with yarn. Like with recognizable physical features, these moments draw on our knowledge of what we might find cute or endearing in order to stir up empathy. But sci-fi movies don't just rely on cuteness to get us up close and personal with aliens. They also highlight aspects of their otherworldly cultures, like the science of Project Hail Mary's Iridians and the language of Arrival's heptapods. There's a reason so many great alien contact movies focus on scientists. From Contact and Close Encounters to Arrival and Project Hail Mary, they're all about people trying to understand and maybe even work with the mysterious other. Often, aspects of these cultures are aspirational, especially from a tech standpoint. Who wouldn't want the wormhole traveling tech from Contact, or the Iridian's impressive building capabilities in Project Hail Mary? But there's an extra level to this aspiration, the focus on sharing this tech with people who may need it. In most of the examples I've laid out, there is a lack of selfishness from alien civilizations towards humans. They want to help us, which can lead to a greater partnership in the future. In Arrival, the heptapods gift humans their non-linear language with the knowledge that many years down the line, humans will repay the favor and help them back. In Project Hail Mary, Grace and Rocky recognize that it will take the 2 of them working together to save their planets from astrophage. That's the real power of a hopeful first contact movie, in getting to know the other we learn more about ourselves and our capacity for goodness. That self-reflection is what truly hooks us on an alien-human friendship movie. But there's still one hurdle to overcome before an alien movie can truly become great, and that is execution. Part 3. Craft. You can have the perfect human meets alien story on paper, but it will all fall apart if you can't nail the alien itself. In some movies, that's not a huge problem. The aliens in Close Encounters don't show up until the very end, and we never see the physical forms of the aliens in contact. Yet those films are expert at building atmosphere and mystery around the aliens, and on examining what their presence means for humanity. But what if you need a full alien on screen for good chunks of the movie? Chances are, you're gonna want to use a puppet. Puppets are all over sci-fi film history, from the many puppets of the Alien franchise to the worm guys of Men in Black. And of course, E.T. set a gold standard, combining the work of puppeteers and human actors in suits with groundbreaking animatronic technology. When we say movie magic, this is what we're talking about: a tactile creature that is able to interact with the actors. Their physical presence allows a greater connection with the human performer, which is crucial when your film is built on selling the relationship between human and alien. Project Hail Mary continues this tradition of using practical puppetry to deepen the relationship between Grace and Rocky.
It's so important for that core relationship in the movie for Ryan to have a scene partner, someone with whom to bounce things off of, and that meant getting a real puppet that we could really photograph, and a great team of puppeteers led by James Ortiz that could be spontaneous with Ryan, that could respond to his improvisational ideas, that could offer ideas to Ryan so that he would, not know what was going to happen next. What's really hard when you're playing that to a tennis ball is no one is like stirring the pot. There are not as many surprises.
An example of one of the genuine moments between Gosling and Ortiz and his team of puppeteers comes during Grace and Rocky's first meeting.
The first time Grace and Rocky really meet, and Rocky starts imitating the movements that Grace makes. What we basically did is we set up this shot where we were behind Rocky, and through the glass we could see Ryan, and we had the puppeteers in the foreground and Ryan in the deep background, and then we had something in Ryan's ear, a little earwig, and we would pitch things for him to do, and he would come up with his own things to do, and we left it to the puppet team to try and copy whatever it was that Ryan was doing. And so we would be like, okay, do a little dance, or do the Macarena, or draw out a gun. And every time he would do that, then the puppeteers had to figure out how they were gonna copy what he did. And it felt like, as we were shooting it, like it was movie magic. You're like, I can't believe we're capturing this thing, and it's really happening. And you can see the joy through the glass on Ryan's face as he watches the little alien puppet trying to do whatever it is he's doing. And I think there's something so magical and special about that.
These improvisational moments imbue Project Hail Mary's science fiction with a splash of reality, adding a finishing touch to all the painstaking groundwork the film laid about Iridian's physiology and culture. The result is an on-screen friendship without an inch of fakeness, as well as another great addition to the canon of hopeful human-alien films. What's your favorite human-alien friendship in film? Let us know in the comments, and tune in next week for another installment of How It Hits.